Well, hello. Today I'd like to share some of my thoughts about Landlady by Roald Dahl. The short story by Roald Dahl called The Landlady was published in the New Yorker in November 28, 1959. The short story itself is kind of thriller story that provides a great example of a horror story that you don't realize that this story is a horror story until the very end of the story. The story itself is filled with a sly humor and unexpected twists. Well, just in case, I'd like to share you some information about the writer or the author itself. As you know, that Roald Dahl, the author and the writer of The Lady, was born on 13 September 1916 in lands of South Wales, United Kingdom, to Norwegian parents. He was a mischievous child full of energy and imagination, and from an early age he proved himself skilled at finding trouble. Then, adult Dow began his writing career in 1946, right while he was working as an assistant attaché, a technical expert who advised in government as a government representative in Washington, D.C. And short after that, he published his short story in the Saturday Evening Post. Soon his stories appeared in many other magazines and he continues to write. The Landlady story itself was written around 1958 and 1959. He got an idea to write it because it based on his past experiences when he was young, when he began his career as a fighter pilot for Royal Air Force. He did his duty well and should be apart from his family to serve in Nairobi, Kenya. Then something happened. His plane crashed and he was sent to Washington DC in USA to get a recovery. Then, at that time, in Washington DC, the city itself was not really crowded as an usual big city. And then maybe his character at that time when he was young, or maybe he inspired by himself when he was young, and then his loneliness when he served in the Nairobi, Kenya, his experiences and his some nerve-wracking tension, the recent issues maybe that happened that time, and the fight that city has offered made him to write such a horror story called The Landlady. The setting itself is set shortly after the Second World War in a city called Bath. Readers can easily imagine Billy Weaver wander around in late evening on the empty streets of this city to find a lodging, and he may discover architectural treasures and an astonishing late evening atmosphere of a small city. At every turn, the fact that city has a small the fact that the city has as a small cozy transit stop is undeniable. We can easily imagine it, especially for the bed and breakfast. Seems so delightfully cozy, and it's really inviting for us to come there. There are two major characters in this story. The first one is Billy Weaver as the protagonist character because he plays a large role of the outcome of the story. There is an evidence that indicates Billy Weaver as the main character because Billy Weaver is introduced right at the beginning of the story and we learn the following about him immediately. Those quotations before is the first personal description from the short story and usually explain about the main character from the story, and it tells a lot about Billy. And for the antagonist character in this story is the landlady, is a middle-aged woman with a friendly and welcoming manner, but she does have a sinister motive to Billy. According to that, we know that she is the antagonist in this story. These characters are important because they are not pleasant persons as they appear to be. There is plenty of symbolism packed into this short story. In the beginning, the emphasize reverse fondness and briskness. This lively speed is diminished as he reaches the bed and breakfast, where he feels compelled to stop before the window. This foretells the end of his life. The neglected facades of the buildings in the bed and breakfast create a morbid mood and suggesting decay and death. Chrysanthemum itself, uh, as you can see, symbolize optimism and joy, but the fact that they are yellow suggests a deeper meaning. Yellow is the color of hopefulness, representing reverse Yah, and it's also a color of deceit, representing the murderous landlady. The Landlady has such horror humor and disgust theme, and it's closely related to taboo, which is violating our cultural, and it can be received rather with laughter or with contempt and disgust. Don't not only use that kind of horror humor and disgust theme in the story, but he often uses it in his another short story called Pig. In the pig short story, the pig deals with a taboo topic of cannibalism. Wow. And a wrong passion then for this landlady, he deals with homicide. This is because the landlady behavior and action were proof on years of loneliness, and the landlady resorted to killing because she thought that this is the only way her companion would stay with her forever. And in the end, as for the years, Roald story is in a different level of horror atmosphere, through delicate hints and details that are alarming only in context. He shows us how it's possible to tell a whole story by indirection. Roald employs the landlady foreshadowing to create suspense and irony to amuse the reader. Dahl did a very good job to entertain us with his chilling and horror story. That's all from me. Thank you.